Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our beloved Hajj family. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Jazakumullah khair for attending this second session for Hajj 2026. May Allah bless you all. I hope this will be beneficial for you in your plan and your intention for Hajj, inshallah. I wanted to thank all of you and thank the team, the staff, and all the volunteers assisting, inshallah. Again, like we said, this is a 7-8 month journey together, bi'idhnillah. We'll get to know each other, bi'idhnillah, and be able to help you every step of the way. Just quickly, we're going to do a quick recap of last session, although it is on the YouTube channel. We'll post the link again shortly, and then discuss what is new. And then basically take, Bismillah, mashallah, we had on the slide also what we do essentially, and inshallah, we'll be doing this more often throughout the time, is to allow you to ask questions early on so we can organize them and we can have a productive session, inshallah. And so we don't, waste too much of your time throughout the session, inshallah. So just to begin with, the first and the most important update is that usually the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah and the authorities do a Hajj conference with all related individuals and parties and authorized personnel for Hajj. And last year and the year before, they did it usually in January. This year, they're doing it November 9th to the 12th. So we're extremely excited to be there early, get to see and hear all the new updates. So expect probably about the 12 or 13 or while we're there to send you new updates, inshallah. So that's really the timeline. So just to give you an idea, 12 November is where we're going to be hearing more updates, bi'idhnillah, on what the timelines are. But alhamdulillah, with one of our service providers, we just did receive, I would say this was, if I'm not mistaken, 2 weeks ago, Brother Azhar, some updates and initial timelines announced by the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah for Hajj 1447, which is 2026. You can hear the Hijri calendar and dates as well. We'll get used to that as well. Basically, the registration on Nusuk, Hajj, whether you registered before or now, the registration to actually create an account and upload your information and fill out the form is open and will continue to be open until all the packages are sold out. So remember that. So if you've registered last year or the year before or a month ago or 2 months ago, or you decide to register today or tomorrow or next month, you're not late as long as you're verified and you top up your e-wallet before the packages are live. But we do urge everyone to register now. And mashallah, with the statistics we've seen in the past 3 polls that we've taken on our Telegram group, alhamdulillah, jazakumullah khair for you all following instructions. And from 44%, we are over 75% now individuals in that group, or from the poll, have registered, alhamdulillah, for Nusuk. And again, remember, registration is different than verification, and then there's top up the e-wallet. So we don't believe that the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah and this and the authorized vendors and authorities that are verifying the documents have started yet officially. So any questions about verifications, if you're concerned that you're not verified, don't worry, because we don't believe they started that process yet. So that's the next step, which is the verification. So right now, registration is open. We urge everyone to register. That's all that you really can do at the moment besides getting prepared, inshallah. Then we're expecting that once you're verified, so you'll get verified probably throughout November. That's the verification process. And in December, somewhat in the middle of December, we're expecting to be able to top up our e-wallets, put money in our wallet, our digital wallet, and be able to start seeing the packages sometime by the end of December or beginning of January, and hoping it would be 1 month early in terms of purchasing packages, which will be beginning of January instead of last year or this year, beginning of February. And again, these are dates that are already posted on Telegram. So I'm assuming you all know it. So I hope it's not too confusing, inshallah. So Brother Azhar, did you want to add anything to that before we do a quick recap as well? And then start taking questions, inshallah.
One of the questions that was asked, Ahmed, was when do you actually add family members to your profile? Is it after you're verified, or can you do it before verification?
Yeah, so that's a great question, Brother Azhar. So we'll speak about the family linking and so on, but the linking does not affect the verification. Because remember,
Okay.
whether you add an individual to your family account or they register separately, they still have to have a separate account. They're kind of separate in a way because
Mm.
they have their own unique email. So it's not like I'm adding your name to my profile. I'm adding your account to my profile. So essentially, you do actually have a separate account which is linked to, for instance, my account. So you have your own individual verification. Linking doesn't matter whether it is verified or not. It's just linking the account, but the verification verifies separately. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. So everybody has to have their own account, and when you can have a profile in which you can add other accounts to it, right? That's
Correct. And
basically.
whether you link the account or create the account by opening the account within your profile and then they get an email and they start the registration, or they do it separately and you send them an email invite to join your account. It's
Doesn't
tomato
matter.
tomato.
And it doesn't matter if it's before or after verification.
Correct.
Okay, makes
But everyone in the account should be verified before you top up the
of
e-wallet. That would
course.
be the next step. And
It
that next
doesn't
step is
it,
nowhere
it,
near now. So
it
no
it
one is
doesn't even
behind
it
at the
doesn't even
moment.
allow you to actually access your wallet or do something with it unless you're verified. It
Correct.
doesn't even enable it, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So you really can't do much anyway now, besides register, pull up all your information, and wait for them to verify. And again, you're not behind if you're not verified yet.
Yeah, because that's a lot of questions coming this way. I've done it,
Right.
I'm not verified, I can't add another profile. When do I do my e-wallet? So the sequence is you register. If you have other family members, let them register. You want to link the account, you can, but you will not be able to actually look at your actually add any money to your wallet until you're verified.
Correct. Correct. Very good. So
Thank
what
you.
I'm going to do, brothers and sisters, and I apologize if this is repetitive for those that have been around for the first session. We're just going to go through some key points as a recap, and then basically we'll open up, we'll read all the 40 questions that we've compiled that are duplicates or merged, and then we'll start. Brother Azhar will start with the questions. He'll answer the questions, and I can add in, or if he wants to pass a question to me, inshallah. So with that being said, I'm going to share now my screen. Again, apologies if you've seen this before, but this is what we spoke about. And just kind of remember, we're always going to do repetition. That's very important because we want you all to be pros. Now, again, it's important to know this is the process. You create an account, you upload your documents, you fill the application, and you wait verification. So if you are registered already on Nusuk, or you've registered last year, you may have been verified, but they may refresh and you might have to get verified again, just uploading the information again. But generally speaking, we should all be in the number 4 right now if we're registered. If you haven't, please register, inshallah. Then after that, we're expecting number 4, we'll get verified sometime in November, and then sometime in December will be number 5, 6, and 7. All right. So November would be number 4 and 5. Sorry. Select preferred. That's just a preference. There's nothing serious about it. So 4 and 5 is November, 6 and 7, and possibly 8 in December. And then inshallah, January, we'll be booking your package and then reviewing the itinerary. Does that make sense, Brother Azhar? You're on mute.
Yeah, that's the sequence, Ahmed. This is a nice recap. Thank you. Yeah.
Jazakallah khair. And again, these are all the countries, whether you are a citizen or a resident of these countries, you can apply on Nusuk. Remember, if you have a family member in a different country and they don't have residency in your country, you have to create separate Nusuk accounts. But that's the great thing. The great thing is when Dar es Salaam is working with their service providers, we have a variety, many varieties of all packages where you can actually book the same package. You coordinate with your fellow friend or family member, coordinate and book the same package, and inshallah, we will put you together while we're working with the service providers. Again, here's the Nusuk website. It is not the app. It is Nusuk, hajj.nusuk.sa. Here is how you register. Again, you'll notice here that you'll see that there's select the country of residence. That's important. And then creating an account by a unique email address. You log in, you upload your documents, you answer all the questions. Remember, we spoke about the arrival dates, 18 May estimated, 21 days expected by air, and the airline flight number is TBD. Then you have your profile, and then it's basically pending until it gets verified. So it's under verification. You should be seeing under verification now. If you do have verified, you probably have an account from before, and that's perfectly fine, inshallah. Here's where you can add your family members. So again, you can add a new family member or you can invite a family member. It's the same thing. You have a maximum number of members, 8, including yourself. Here is the contact information for Nusuk. If you have any questions with regards to some issues or errors or passport name issues or anything that way, it's important that you contact them directly at support@hajj.nusuk.sa. They'll open a ticket. Generally speaking, sometimes it's more effective if you call them, and their number is on their website there, inshallah. All right. Hajj 2025 recap, all Hajj packages via Nusuk, exclusive access to Hajj packages and information solely through Nusuk's platform. There's nowhere else you can purchase package unless you are a different citizen or a citizen of Pakistan, Egypt, Turkey, any of the Muslim countries. You can probably book with them directly. So that would be the easiest way or the fastest way. Cost is almost similar because there's a variety of packages on Nusuk. Registration has to be via hajj.nusuk.sa. It's a mandatory registration. Please, 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 brothers and sisters, if someone tells you I can do it any other way, make sure you ask from what country and what nationality I need. If it is saying that you bypass Nusuk or something like that, and you're, in Australia or the United States or the UK or Canada, then there's a red flag there. If someone asks you to make a payment, there's a red flag there. If someone tells you what the prices are for packages, actual packages, there's a red flag there because it's not published yet, and everything and all the resources have to be within Nusuk, inshallah. Dar es Salaam's updates, we always provide you continuous updates and announcements provided by us, inshallah, on our Telegram, by email, by these webinars, and of course on our YouTube channel and our social medias. Our affiliation and ground guide assistance, so Dar es Salaam's partnerships with service providers for on-ground assistance and liaison for their clients. This is what we do, and this is what we do from the beginning. From 8 months in advance, inshallah, we walk you through everything. You are going to be a pro, I promise you, by the end of this trip, inshallah. All the services, all the comprehensive services of purchasing, then we basically work with the service provider to create the experience. Registration, bookings, payments, visa processing, everything is centralized through Nusuk and through the Ministry of Hajj, inshallah. Brother Azhar, did you want to add anything there?
No, sir. Thank you. That's a good recap.
Yep. All right. I think that's pretty much it. Again, this is the most important thing. So if you were to say, Ahmed, okay, I registered now and I'm waiting verification. What else can I do? Well, watch some videos on our YouTube channel if you want to, but also make a decision on your price point. Any decision, if you say, hey, I can afford, let's say, 20,000 Canadian dollars, right? Then I need to plan that I'm going to look at Al-Ma'isam and Majalul Kapsh packages, for instance. Or I can say I can afford 20,000 Canadian, but I can push myself to 23. Then that way you put yourself in a different category. And by the way, when we say these are the categories or these are the packages, we're not only going to have 3 packages. We're working with several service providers. And remember, service providers change. They're added. There's a few new service providers that are being added this year. Some are not going to continue this year. But at the end of the day, the constant is us with you, inshallah. And at the end of the day if you think about Ma'isam packages, we're probably going to have maybe 10 Ma'isam packages, maybe another 10 Majalul Kapsh packages, and another 10 Saudiya packages. So something is going to fit your budget and your timings and your flight gateways and your hotel categories and so on and so forth, inshallah. So again, just take a moment. You can take a screenshot of this if you'd like. It is also recorded, but this is just to give you an idea that, mashallah, if you are from Australia, you're able bi'idhnillah to afford to go to Hajj if you are planning to pay from 14 to 38,000 Australian dollars, and so on and so forth. The US from 9,000 all the way to 25,000, Canadian 12,000 all the way to 35,000, pounds 7,300 all the way down to 19,000. So it's affordable, and there is so many levels and range options, inshallah. Brother Azhar, did you want to
Well,
add anything here?
yes. So what we're looking at here, for those who are going for the first time, you were wondering what are these packages? What is Al Muassim? What is Majd Al Kabsh? What is Saudiya packages and Kidana Towers? Essentially, if you look at a package, is keep the airline aside for the moment. Flight from your city or nearby city, or there are options for flights. Keep that aside for the moment. Keep the hotels aside for the moment. These three packages are referring to the three different campsites in Mina during the days of Hajj, during the state of Ihram. So when you are not in your hotel, when you have to leave your hotel and go to a campsite in Mina, Mina is huge. It accommodates all the pilgrims. And so Al Muassim is an area where there are camps for the people who stay there. And there are some packages using that campsite. And there are some packages that uses Majd al Kabsh packages campsite, which is across from the Jamarat. And there are some that is relatively new, that they have built some buildings, fully air conditioned, in the middle of the valley of Mina, and that is called the Kidana Towers, and there's packages from Saudi. So these are referring to the campsite, and the variation in prices is based on the campsite you're in. It is regardless of the hotels in Mecca and Medina. It's regardless of the actual airfare or tickets that you're going to buy to get there. That's because people tend to always think about how far away is the hotel. They tend to think about, I'm taking this airline, I want this airline, I'm going to drop my kids off somewhere. So those are all different options. But the main thing to look at is when you're actually performing Hajj in the 5 days of Hajj, the services, the location, the facilities are, they vary based on the campsite you're in. And that's what this price range tells you based on the campsite you're in during the days of Hajj.
And Brother Azhar, Jazakallah khair for that. And we assume everyone understands this information because this is on our YouTube channel, and we're gonna walk you through it again. So some of you are saying, "I'm so confused. What is all this? This is too much." Don't worry at all. We're gonna get you there. We're gonna send you links. We're gonna walk you through it. There's so many articles that were written about it. We'll walk you through it, inshallah. In a few days, we'll be sending out a survey as well on Telegram for those that really need more help and hand holding in terms of registering. That's what we're going to work on, because that's the most important part right now. All of this is going to come together. And once you're there, you're like, okay, I see it. I see how everything comes together, inshallah. And again, trust us when we say we're going to be with you every step of the way. It might be bumpy, right? And it will definitely be bumpy, but we're going to be with you every step of the way, inshallah.
Inshallah.
All right. And again, mashallah, one of the brothers has created an online form that you'll be able to see, and you'll be able to see the packages and the links. You can copy the links, the categories, the service provider we're working with and partnering with, the camp, the Mecca hotel, the Medina hotel. This is an example from last year, guys. This is not from this year. If it's shifting or non-shifting, what flights are included in the prices. So it's going to be very easy, very simple when the time comes. I know human nature is we want to know everything right now. But I promise you, when the time comes, we're going to walk you through it every step of the way, inshallah. Brother Azhar, did you want to add anything here?
Now, the reason we're sharing the information from last year, like this packages, is to give you an idea what was like last year. There is nothing to provide this year because the packages are not out. They're not priced yet. The hotels have not, these are all in progress. They're all happening, and they're not quite there yet. And so if you're looking at, hey, where's the package? Because I get emails, brother, can you tell me what your packages are and how much will it cost? Well, the packages are not out yet, but we can give you as reference to last year. For example, if you're looking at this screen that Brother Ahmed is showing you, there's a name of the package, there's a number of days, and whether it's economy, non-shifting, and shifting will give you the definition. That's to do with the hotel, and which company in Saudi Arabia is the service provider, Sierra Group or Abdul Latif Jameel or Al Burj, as you can see that third column. And then, of course, which camp. Now, we talked about in the previous slide the camp we're going to be using. and so the hotels and so forth. So this is essentially, each row essentially is talking about a particular package, and you can see on the right side what the price is, right? So they can get an idea that if I'm looking at Al Muassim, last year this particular type of a package was 26,950, and it did not include the flights. And if I'm looking at, for example, at the bottom, Majr al Kabsh camp, you can see that was 44,714. So you're getting an idea that the Majr al Kabsh camp that included the flights, and they were shifting packages, how much they were, etc. So you will see something similar that is being developed, presented to you. And not only we're going to present to you, we're going to say to me, well, I don't understand what this package means. We're going to actually walk you through this. We're going to tell you what shifting means, non-shifting means. We're going to repeat what the camps really mean, etc. So you can have, just be assured that we're stay with us. We're going to actually walk you through this, each of the packages that Dar Islam supports, because it can become overwhelming. When you look at Nusuk, when the packages are out, you're going to say, oh my God, there's about 420 packages. How do I know which one is good? How do I know which one I want? So we're going to walk you through that of these 420 packages, these are the 25 packages that Dar Islam is supporting, working with the service provider. And we're going to walk you through each one of them, and you'll get a better understanding of what the packages are and how much it costs and which camp it's using.
Jazakallah khair, brother Azhar. So I think we answered a lot of the questions, by the way, but let's do them anyway. We have about 30 minutes, inshallah. We have about 40 questions, alhamdulillah. So Jazakallah khair, we populated them. And I think they should answer majority of everyone's questions. Now, remember, brothers and sisters, you may ask the question differently than someone else, but the answer is pretty much the same. So please bear with us. The answer should be there, even if your question might be a little different, but the relevance is there, inshallah. So, Brother Azhar, I ask you if you want to start with the registration and verification. They're pretty much mostly all the same, but maybe if you can answer them, we've answered a lot of them. But please, if you can begin.
Bismillah. So registration question is, how long does the Nusuk verification process take, and what should we do if our application has been under review for weeks or months? The reason it's under review for weeks or months is because they haven't started the verification process. What they have started, and I encourage everybody to do, even if you're thinking about it, is go and register. And that means filling out the form, providing the information that was mentioned already. There's a YouTube on that. And also uploading your passport and uploading your picture to the specification they provide. And then you have to wait. So the question is, how long? Well, I think once they start the process, it shouldn't be long. But the reason you're still under review is because they haven't started the process. So just be patient. It will start soon, inshallah, and we'll let you know when it starts. Second question is, if we registered last year or have verified account from before, do we need to reapply or re-upload the documents? Go and take a look at your login from last year. If it says that it's already verified, you don't have to worry about it. If it says under review or it says nothing, then you have to go back and reapply it, and we'll go through the under review process, and you'd have to then wait for that to be completed, right? Being verified mean we're accepted for Hajj, and how will we know when approval or results are released? So this is the question number 3, is very important. People still believe that once they're verified, it's like a lottery system, that they're accepted for Hajj and they're waiting for them to be selected. If that's what it really means, verified means that your documents are in order, they agree with it. Now you can still go ahead and select a package and purchase a package. You're not going to be selected by them. It's not a lottery system. There is a quota that will be for each country, and for that matter, for each of the camps, there's a quota. And so when the sale begins later on, that day of sale is when you go in and purchase your package. They won't be actually selecting you. So how will we know when approval results are released? There is no approval results. Once you're verified, you're now on to completing your wallet. Start putting money in your wallet. And then when you see the packages, we walk you through the packages. You select one package as your primary, stick it in your shopping cart. Now you know what the total price of the package is, and then you go in and make sure your wallet is equal to that. If not, at least add another 100 reals to it. Now you're ready to purchase it because you have something sitting in the shopping cart. Then you wait till they actually say the sale is on today at 7 a.m. Eastern time. And that's when you go in and you purchase your package. They're not selecting you, you're purchasing it. Can registration still be done now? Well, registration is open for a long time. It's open now, it'll be continuing to open. Even when the sale starts, people still register after that. That's fine. How do I correct or edit personal details once submitted? If I don't know, Brother Ahmed, if they have changed the
Yeah, I
method for
believe
them.
I believe they can edit those, right? So some of
Yeah.
them they can edit right now. Like you can go in and click on edit, but you cannot change the email.
Yeah.
Can't correct the email, I believe, and name. But other than that, you can correct anything else.
Yeah. I can't submit my application because the missing fields, flight number. So we mentioned about what flight number, you should use. We mentioned about you pick a rough date when you're going to go, because these are not exact dates. You're thinking of, I say I'm flying out on May the 18th, that you're going to fly out on May the 18th. No, just you're using a rough dates as to when you're going to fly out. We gave you a range that it's anywhere from 16th to 18th. You're departing. If you lose using one of our packages, and you're returning anywhere from June 1st to June 3rd, as an example. So pick a date, for example, and if you have any questions as to what it really means and what it should be, we can be more than we can answer those questions for you, so you can actually complete and submit the application. It's important that you submit the application. It's important that you start the registration process and be under review for verification. It's important that you don't wait because you're missing these fields. We'll help you fill out those fields and you submit the application.
And brother Azhar, if I may, PO box, you can just put your address again on there, right? So if there's a required field and address, just copy the house number again and put it there. But the question is, which is a red flag here, is visa number. If someone asks a question about how can I submit my application because of missing fields like a visa number, that means that individual is probably trying to log in on the app, not the Hajj website. So be very careful, brothers and sisters. It is hajj.nusuk.sa. Fadal.
So this is an important point, Brother Ahmed, right? There is something called a Hajj app that people are used to who go for Umrah. You download this app from Android or Apple, and you actually register in it using your visa number, and you make appointment to go pray in the Rauda or make appointment to perform Umrah. This has nothing to do with Hajj. Hajj is not an app. Hajj is an actual website. It's an online portal, hajj.nusuk.sa. So don't get confused between the two. You have to go online, not download anything, and that's where you go and put in your information and submit your registration. Number 7 is important. How does registration differ for group applications or people performing Hajj on behalf of someone else? The intention of you performing Hajj on behalf of someone else has nothing to do with the application. The application must be for the person traveling for Hajj. So if I'm traveling for Hajj, even though I intend to do Hajj, let's say on behalf of my late father, may Allah have mercy on him, I am registering as myself. They don't really know what the intention is. What they want to know is the passport I'll be traveling with. And therefore, the name on the passport is the person who is registering. That's the person who's going to be verified. That's the passport that will be uploaded. That's the picture of the person that will be uploaded to go through the verification process. So it's important to understand that's different than anything else that you're intending to do. A family linking and accounts. Um, how do you properly link family members and spouses in Nusuk? And why do some invitations fail or not appear? So each of the person who is going to be linked in a profile for a family, which is important. If you have a family traveling for Hajj, a husband and a wife only traveling for Hajj, or a family of 3 or 4, there should be a single profile with all of you in it. That doesn't mean that each of you can skip the registration process. Each one has to be verified anyway. So you go ahead and you verify it, and then you choose a family member to actually link the other profile under one profile. That's the profile under which you're going to purchase the package. Having 3 people or 4 people or multiple people in the profile allows you to do one package purchase for everybody. Otherwise, each individual person is purchasing the package. One gets in, one doesn't get in. One gets this occupancy, one doesn't get that occupancy. They can't fix that after you purchase it. It's better to have them all in one profile. So create an application under review for each member of the family, and then go in, pick a family member who will be responsible for purchasing it, and have that family member link all the others through sending an invitation to complete that profile, one profile with all of the family members in it. I think I've already answered number 9. Can we add new family members? Yes, you can even remove or you can add family members even after the verification process. My spouse or relative already has an account. How do we manage or connect them? I believe Ahmed already showed you a screenshot where you can actually invite them and they have to accept the invitation for the profile to be merged, right? That's the screenshot that was shown. There it is, right there. Family members on Nusuk Hajj, they already have somebody, and you can actually send them a message, and they will actually be part of your profile if they accept that message. You can see there's also in there something called delete family members. So if you have someone who you had registered and had a profile, and later on that person is unable to go, you can actually delete a member from the family as well, right? You want to start the profile all over again, you can do that too. But that, as I said, but each person has to be registered individually. How are groups or roommates arranged in quad triple rooms by age, gender, or region? So again, if you're a single person selecting a quad occupancy, it definitely will be gender based for sure. We're not going to have mixed gender. But if you're a family of 4 and you have a single profile and you choose quad occupancy, then you'll be the same 4 family of 4 together because you have a mahram relationship in that room. Especially if it's a couple, a husband and wife are traveling, for example, and they're one under one profile, and they choose double occupancy, then they are the only 2 that will be in the room. Anybody else otherwise will be gender separated. Number 13, how does e-wallet system work and when should funds be added? So as soon as you are verified, you will see in the box that says e-wallet, that becomes enabled. And what you ought to do, you ought to actually try putting some money in it. And we're going to have a separate session on how to put money in wallet. Do I send the money through a wire transfer? Do I actually use my credit card there are nuances about using credit card that's going to a foreign entity in a foreign currency. You have to speak to your bank to allow that transaction to happen, not your card to be denied. So you have to actually work out as soon as the wallet is enabled. I will say let's put in 5,000 reals to start with, right? And you need to figure out exactly which is the transfer method that is best. Credit card is the best. You can also use the debit card, for example. And so you will start to do that as soon as you're verified, not before verification. Enabling of the e-wallet for that particular account, it's like having your personal account, happens after you're verified.
Oh, and Brother Azhar, I highly, highly recommend to go to hajjguide.ai and ask specifically these e-wallet questions. We've populated, I think, if I'm not mistaken, probably hundreds of conversations, hundreds of chats through the support squad and the staff, and all the recommendations from a lot of the previous Hajis about funding the e-wallet, credit cards, debit cards, foreign exchanges, transaction fees from almost every country, and recommendations of types of credit cards. I mean, I encourage everyone right now while we're speaking to go on hajjguide.ai and ask
Yeah. So Ahmed, if you can put
what
that.
what card is recommended from Canada, for instance, to avoid foreign exchange fees, or what card is this or that? Any of these questions, I mean, I think alhamdulillah we've added a lot of knowledge base with regards to this. Bank transfers and credit cards are usually the go-to. A lot of people recommend the credit card because it's instantaneous. But yeah, brothers, you can continue that. But I highly recommend, because every country is different, right? Every card is different. There's so many cards. And knowing right now, so you need to apply for a card. Maybe you might need to get it soon. So going into hajjguide.ai and asking these questions, I think will be very useful. Besides asking all these other questions also can be answered there.
Thank you, Brother Ahmed. Can you post that hajjguide.ai onto the chat so everybody can see exactly where to go? I think not only for the e-wallet, I would ask you to actually use hajjguide.ai for any questions you have, because we're going to develop this tool to be able to answer other questions as we actually learn from it. So use this hajjguide.ai, go in there and ask your question. And there are specific sections on e-wallet. And as Brother Ahmed mentioned, I've had issues. For example, our experience has been people did a bank transfer. The transfer went through all right, but it doesn't mean that your account has been credited yet, because somebody has to manually then credit your account. So there are some nuances about the type of method used to transfer money into e-wallet. Credit card is instant, but then credit card has a different challenge. If you are living in Canada, for example, there are other legislation that looks at money laundering. So even though you have the credit limit, even though you're sending within the credit limit, it flags it because it's a foreign transaction, foreign entity in a foreign currency. So you have to speak to your bank. So you're gonna go through all of this, but learn what best for you, and use hajjguide.ai to understand how to actually populate your e-wallet and send money through it. Should we add extra funds in case packages cost more than expected? Generally speaking, if you have selected a package and have put it into your um, uh, if you selected your package and have actually put it into your uh, uh, shopping cart, that price is pretty well the price you're going to pay. But because the price is in reals and your wallet is in reals, as long as it matches, what I ask people to do, add another 100 reals on top of it. Because if you add excessively more money, for sure it guarantees you, but I believe there is a small percentage that is deducted for the remaining money to be refunded to you. You don't get the 100% back. You get a deduction before the money is sent back to you. So when you see the package price, don't add more money now. You can keep adding to it up to a certain amount. When you see the packages, then you know what your top limit is. Then you top it up and maybe 100 reals more, and then your package is sitting in a shopping cart to be purchased. How can we avoid foreign exchange or transaction fees when paying from outside Saudi Arabia? Again, use the hajjguide.ai for assistance in understanding what works without any fees and what you have to actually go through and pay the fees. If we cannot travel or not approved, how do refunds work and how long do they take? The how long do they take is not defined. Let me answer that question. It's really not defined. Generally, you will see the refunds start coming after Hajj is over, as such. And there is a deduction. I don't remember, Brother Ahmad, is it 2% or is it 1.5%? There is a deduction
It was
that is
1.5, yeah.
1.5% is a deduction. So if I have 50,000 reals sitting and I'm not going to go any further, I've chosen not to go, then that 1.5% will be deducted in that money coming back to you. I should also add that when that money is coming back to me in reals and I actually paid in USD or in Canadian dollars, then actually the amount I receive in dollars will also be affected based on the exchange rate. How many service providers are available on Nusuk and how do we choose the right one? So we will advise you, because they're adding more. There's a couple of them choosing not to participate. We'll advise you exactly who the service providers are once they are finalized. And more importantly, we'll advise you who are the ones that we're partnering with. It's important to understand that there might be 10 or 15 service providers, but we're not partnering with every one of them. We're partnering with just a select 2 or 3, and we'll tell you exactly who we're partnering with. And later on, we'll tell you the packages within those service providers that are the ones that we're going to actually support and manage and operate on behalf of the service providers. When will packages be released and will prices be shown up front? We expect the packages to come through. As Ahmed mentioned, this year they're actually having that Hajj conference instead of January. They're having it in November. Now, last year and the year before, when they had the conference, the packages came out about a month or so afterwards. So we're expecting the packages to come out. Again, this is a guess on our part because they haven't published it. We're expecting the packages to come out sometime in late November. I would say maybe in mid-December it should come out as such. Now, once the packages come out, does that mean you can go and purchase it? No. The purchase button is disabled. What you can do with the packages, you can go through them, you can review them, you can understand them. You can then select one and say, this is going to be in my shopping cart. So the price will be displayed. and you'll be able to see the price as such. So I would suggest to you that you actually, wait till the packages are out. We will walk you through the packages, just like we'll walk you through the service providers, and we'll walk you through what the different packages are, and then you can select one and then actually top your wallet up to match that price. What's included in each package? Accommodations, meals, transport, airfare, and are there any extra cost? When you go through the selection process, they will give you all the extras that you may want to have. One of the extras that we saw in the last couple of years is whether you want a SIM card. And we discouraged people from actually going and selecting that because they will charge you for the SIM card, but it's very difficult to understand the process in getting a SIM card. So we'll tell you what the extras are because that's part of the selection process. Double occupancy cost is different than a quad occupancy cost. Sometimes double occupancy quad is sold out, only double is available, and you have no choice but to take that. Most of the packages will have, for example, the sacrifices included. Some packages will have sacrifices additional. So you'll actually see that in the process of selecting the package, or I would say configuring the package as to what's included and what's not included. Airfare is another example. So there are fixed airfares that will be attached to certain packages. I'm flying from JFK for Hajj, and I'm coming back. But I live in Columbus, Ohio. What about me? Can I go from Chicago? Well, if your package you're selecting does not have that option, then you assume that you're going to fly from JFK and you have to take a domestic from Columbus, Ohio to JFK. That's an example I would use. And for example, in some cases, people will say, well, wait a minute, but I have to go to Egypt first and I'm going to drop my kids off and then I'm going to go for Hajj, in which case the airline selection, you will not select their airline that's in the package. You will select something else through another engine that's built into Nusuk. And we're going to cover that as to how that works and what are the pros and cons associated with that. What are the main differences between standard, premium, and luxury packages, including price ranges and Medina stays? They actually are term used like standard and premium and luxury. These are the term used basically not in terms of the number of days that you stay in Medina. It terms used into the types of hotel that are going to be using. For example, distance from the Haram, 4-star hotel versus 5-star hotel. So those will be like in the luxury range. You may find, surprisingly, that a 21-day package is cheaper than a 10-day package. And it has nothing to do with the days. The 10 days that I'm staying in a hotel right across from the Haram and I retain the hotel room when I go for Hajj of the 5 days, that's more expensive than 21 days further away. So don't equate the number of days with the pricing at all whatsoever. So that's where the standard comes in. By the way, when you select that preferred category, whether it's a standard or luxury, that really tells them that this is the category you want to select the packages within. It doesn't really mean anything. What means to you is when you actually select a package, you configure a package and put it in your shopping cart. If we don't get our preferred package, can we change or apply for another round? So here's the part that we have experienced for the last couple of years. You always have a preferred package and a package that you put into your shopping cart. But in the back of your mind, you should have a secondary package because you can only put one in the shopping cart. So in the back of the mind, you have a secondary package that you know you will get to in case you don't get this. I would say I would pick here's my package I want, here's my option one, and here's my option two. For some reason, by the time you get to that package on the day the sale starts, that package is sold out, then you can quickly go, you're not searching anymore. You quickly go and get your option one and put that in the shopping cart to purchase that. If that's not available, you go to option two. So always select more than one package that you want with the priority that you want to give to the package that is preferred versus option one and option two. Now, accommodations and meals generally are included. All transportation within the Saudi Arabia is included. Airfare, I already mentioned the nuances associated with that. How can we secure a spot quickly once package is open to avoid missing out? That's a $6 million question, right? How can you secure a spot quickly? There might be packages that come out that are above and beyond what's in the quota, and I think we had that with the Kidana Towers last year. So those who are interested in Kidana Towers, we basically mentioned to them that you can ignore the sale that happens. We will send you an invitation after the sale is over, as long as you understand you're purchasing the Kidana packages. And they actually then got an email invitation to go in and purchase the package. So those are the same things we're looking at perhaps this year. We just don't know what they are. We just don't know how many there'll be in that category. But generally, majority of the people actually have to participate in the sale process and purchase a package. And if they don't get the package that they're looking for, then and the quota is over, then you wait for the authorities over there to increase the quota. For example, we had a phase one sale. The day the sale started, I don't want to disappoint you, is the day the quota was completed. So you got to, kind of sold out kind of a thing. One day, I missed it. I didn't get in. Well, they came back and they said, no, 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 don't worry about it. There'll be a phase two because not all countries sold their quotas. We're going to pool the remaining and offer it again to everybody. And there was also a phase three afterwards. So hopefully, once we know the quota, we will know exactly how many will be allowed, and we will know what will be another phases. So just be patient, but make sure that when the sale starts, that you're part of that group of people that are getting in to purchase the package that you had previously configured and previously put into your shopping cart and had topped your e-wallet. You know, the effort is in our hands. I'm going to digress here a little bit. This is something that we're used to here. I want this and I want to get it no matter what. Remember, this is an honor bestowed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon you. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inviting you to come to his house. What your job is to make the sincere effort towards it. Work as hard as you can, but be sincere towards working and connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant you this honor. Whether you get in or not, the outcome is not in your hands. What's in your hand is the effort that you make. And remember that. Make the effort and connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because the invitation is from him. How can we ensure our family or group gets the same package, hotels and flights? Again, it's the same thing. If your family is in a single profile, then that one purchase is for everybody in that profile. So you're all in that same package, you're all in the same flights, and all in the same hotels. How do we identify Dar Islam supported packages on Nusuk? We normally try to get them to create a package that you can use certain keyword to actually filter among the 400 packages. And when you look at packages and you use the filter with the keyword that will tell you, then only the Dar Islam listed packages show up. So we'll help you with that once the packages are done, inshallah. Are flights included in the package or can we book our own to reduce cost? The requirement has always been that the flight coming into the kingdom and leaving the kingdom has to be through Nusuk. Again, flight going into the kingdom and out of the kingdom for Hajj has to be through Nusuk. And so it matters that if you want to say, let's say, I want to go to Dubai, I'm going to leave my kids there, I'm going to fly out. So that your flight to Dubai and back, you're on your own. Buy any ticket you want, save any money you want. But you still need to go and purchase a flight from Dubai to Saudi Arabia and back from there to Dubai at the end of Hajj through Nusuk. Now, if you look at a package and it says, but this package is only showing me flight from JFK, but I'm not going to take this flight. I'm going to actually go to Dubai first and then take a flight from Dubai, which means you're not going to select the package, flight related to the package. You're going to go through another method within Nusuk. It's like an Expedia method to go in and select a flight from Dubai only, and you're going to buy your own ticket separately. We're going to walk you through this. Be patient with us. We're going to walk you through this as part of the configuration, more specifically in selecting the flight. There are risks associated with that, and we're going to walk you through that, inshallah. But you have to have a flight into and out of the kingdom. Can we depart from and return to a different city or make stopovers before or after Hajj? Again, the same thing applies. If there is a specific flight associated with the package, then that's the flight. No deviation, no stopping over. I bought the flight. Can I change this? None of that will happen. On the other hand, if you're going to do something extra, then you do exactly what I mentioned, for example, in the case of Dubai. I'll go here from here to Dubai, and then I'm going to go for Hajj. And then if I want to go somewhere else, I go back to Dubai and make that other flight arrangements on my own. But you have to select the flight that's with the package, or you select options that has a risk associated with it as to whether or not the price will remain the same, when, especially the day the sale is on. And we're going to walk you through when the time comes to configure such packages. When should flight details be finalized in Nusuk if we haven't booked yet? Well, first of all, you have to book it. So until you see the packages and the flights associated with it, you shouldn't be making any of your own arrangements. So once the packages are out and the flights are attached to it, then you know those are the flights and those are the flights you're going to take. And once you purchase that and they've given you confirmation back that you've got it, then you know those are the flights. Which vaccines are required for Hajj and our seasonal flu and COVID shots taken now be acceptable? Now, last year, they basically required people above 65 only to have COVID shots. People below 65 were only required to have meningitis shots. So if I go with last year's regulation, I would say meningitis is required from those who are in the Western countries, because meningitis is something that happens in Europe and Americas and Australia. But that proof was required, and they checked for that proof when you landed over there. And COVID only for 65 and above. Does that mean it's going to remain the same? We don't know yet, because they haven't yet come out and spelled out the regulations. But I'm letting you know what last year's requirements were. Seasonal flu vaccination was not required. That's something up to you. Taking hepatitis vaccine to protect yourself against foodborne disease was not required, has never been required. It's up to you. So there are vaccines that you can take on your own in consultation with your doctor. But what they required, mandatory, was meningitis for everybody and COVID for 65 and above. Is it okay to submit application before vaccinated? Yes. Go ahead and submit the application now, because the requirement for vaccination is not part of your application, because the requirement could change. That is something separate. What they ask you to do is carry the proof of vaccination with you. So just unless something else changes between last year and this year, the submission of the application has nothing to do with vaccination. What special arrangements are available for elderly or limited mobility pilgrims, wheelchairs, closer camps? So closer camps is one thing. If you are a person with limited mobility, don't be depending that somebody else will push your wheelchair, unless that person is also traveling with you and is a member of the family and is agreed to do so. Expecting that the service provider will have somebody available to push your wheelchair, don't expect that. I would be upfront with you as such, unless a pre-arrangement has been made, because they don't allow people to come into Mina, somebody who's just going to push the wheelchair from Mina to Arafat to Muzdalifah, because that also person is taking a space, also taking a quota for Hajj, so they don't actually allow that. So expect that either you have somebody who's traveling with you to push your wheelchair, or you're able to actually walk and do your things. Now, there are things available in the Haram in Mecca, for example. Those who cannot walk through the Tawaf and walk through Sa'i, they have golf carts. You can go there, and it's a very nominal amount you pay, and you get on the golf cart, and it takes you around the Kaaba 7 times on the roof of the Haram, and it takes you between Safa and Marwa to complete your Umrah. Whether it's an Umrah of arrival, whether it's the Tawaf or Ifada after Hajj, or Tawaf al-Wada, that's available at nominal cost, and you'll be guided to how to do that. But to expect that somebody will be in a wheelchair pushing you during the manasik, I think that's a wrong expectation unless you have a helper with you. What is the refund policy for e-wallets refunds, including any deductions or fees? They will refund the money if you want your money back, but they will deduct about 1.5%. That was the fee last year. We're going to assume that'll be the fee this year. What happens if package is canceled or rejected after payment? Well, we haven't had that a package has been canceled after the payment as such, because if they actually accept a payment for a package, because the approval process for the package is very severe. So the ministry will not allow a Hajj provider, service provider, to list a package unless they can prove to them that they have the sufficient rooms in the contract, etc., contract for transportation. So that process is very rigorous before the package is put up there on Nusuk for sale. So chances of it being canceled is remote. But should it ever happen for whatever reason, then they are going to be able to have to provide you with a substitute. Does booking a VIP or premium package automatically include a Hajj visa, or do we apply separately? That's a good question. So anybody who purchases packages through Nusuk gets a Hajj visa through Nusuk, regardless of whether it's a premium package or luxury package or a standard package. The visa is coming through Nusuk. Now, does that mean that Nusuk issues it? No, the visa is still the responsibility of Ministry of Foreign Affairs, but they are linking with Nusuk. So if you purchased a package, your passport image that you actually uploaded, which was verified earlier, probably the Ministry of Foreign Affairs had a say in being verified, and your picture, then that is turned into a visa and it's emailed to you, and you get your visa that way from them. Should I renew my passport if it expires soon? Extremely important question. People have this, thinking that my passport is still valid for a few months left. It's a very simple requirement. Saudi government requires your passport be valid for 6 months. So 6 months from when? I take the 6 months from my return date. So if I'm going for Hajj and my return date is going to be June 3rd, then remember my passport cannot expire in any part of this next year, 2026. June, July, August, September, October, November, December. It has to expire after December the 3rd. If it's expiring within the 6 month period, get your passport renewed. Don't count on the fact that they will give you the visa. They will not. As a matter of fact, Nusuk might even reject it, saying it's not good enough for 6 months. So don't count on that. If your passport is expiring, let's just make it very clear here. If your passport is expiring, let's say December 15th, 2026, or earlier than that, then you may want to get your passport renewed as opposed to waiting. If you're looking at a package that is from 16th of May to the 3rd of June, then your passport must expire after the 3rd of June. Cannot be before that. Okay. Are you sharing this poll here? Yeah, you are. Okay. How many days are spent in Mina, and can shorter Hajj options be selected? We have always had a shorter package. The shorter package is not reducing the number of days in Mina, because that's a requirement from a Hajj perspective, a religious requirement that you must spend at least 50% or more of the nights in Mina, and we'll tell you which nights those are. So going to Mina and spending the nights in Mina, and if you have a non-shifting package coming back to your hotel, that's part of the packages that will be available, and it will be a shorter package for 10 days, there'll be a package for 14 days, etc. So when the packages come out, you'll be able to look at them and understand that versus what you require and make the selection accordingly. Will this be a fully guided Hajj with scholars and English-speaking leaders who are accompanying the scholars? Brothers and sisters, we wouldn't be Dar Islam if we didn't do that. Right? This is exactly what we're trying to do. Despite the fact that Hajj service providers have the ownership in providing these things, we work with them to make sure that starting this webinar is an administrative webinar. As you select the package, as you purchase the package, you will turn into a logistical webinar and in spiritual webinar. You'll have spiritual sessions on all aspects of Hajj, just not manasik of Hajj. And then when you actually go there, you'll actually meet your group leaders before you go there. We'll have webinars on those group leaders that actually are going to be there. They are English speaking. You have scholars with you. We want to make sure that you're covered from a logistical perspective as well as a religious perspective throughout, before Hajj and throughout Hajj. How can we fix Nusuk technical errors? Is logging into Nusuk Umrah first to access Nusuk Hajj? Okay. Brother Ahmed, would you like to answer the question about Nusuk technical errors?
Yes, sure. So I mean,
39.
every year there's going to be improvements, inshallah, on Nusuk. So last year, I think, or Hajj 2025 was the issue was the OTP delays. Hopefully they'll fix that. And yes, they created a umrah.nusuk.sa website. And I think the brother or sister who's asking about this is because they're probably thinking if they log in through the Umrah one, they can probably work around it. Right now, it is probably a system glitch. I'll leave it at that. If it does work, that's great, but it's probably not going to be only a handful of people knowing this. And it probably will come around, but I think they use different OTP servers. So I'm not sure, but I would assume that considering it would be a system glitch or they're running on different servers.
Jazakallah khair.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate it, sir.
All right.
That's it.
Yeah, I guess, Brother Azhar, I think we're good to go. Alhamdulillah, we've covered pretty much a good amount. I know there's much more advanced questions that individuals are asking, and I definitely urge them to go on our YouTube channel and see all the sessions from last year. But Jazakumullah khair, if you wanna end the
And
session, Brother Azhar, we
and
got a
also
quick
and
poll
also
just to kind of
use
get an
Hajj.
idea of some questions. Alhamdulillah, we have 95% of the individuals found that this session webinar was helpful. Alhamdulillah. 4% were a little. I think one person, I don't know if that's one person, but inshallah, we'll look into how we continuously improve. Alhamdulillah, there's about 70% that said they watched or attended the session one, so that's amazing. For those that haven't, I encourage you to do so, please. The majority, mashallah, is the United States, but there is a substantial amount from Canada. There's UK. I believe there were Australians, but maybe they went because it's late now. The registration, 77%. Alhamdulillah. And most of the relevant questions, I would say 69% said yes, 28% somewhat, because I'm sure they probably want more information. And the 4%, I would assume there's a little more detailed information, and we'll get to it, bidnillah. So jazakallah khair for your patience.
Yeah, so the thing that you should take away from this is that, we've been at this this is our 40th year, by the way, Dar es Salaam. We've been at this for that long. I've been around for 32 years. We've got staff that's been around for more than 30 years. And we've gone through all of this. And the main thing that you should understand that we're sincere in helping you out. It's the main thing is that now we've got people with various background, various experiences. Some know something about it, some don't know anything about it, some have more experience about it. We're dealing with all of that across, but we're going to work with you and just stay with us. Just trust us. It is early in the process. Get the registration done. As we progress further, we'll be back with you with another webinar and explaining what the next step will be. It's just a process that will continue until you end up purchasing the package. Then we switch gears and start preparing you for the journey. But we're going to be with you every step of the way. That's the main thing to understand. Now, some people will look at this and say, well, that's great. I'm in. I just want you to understand this is not a logistical and administrative journey. This is a journey of the soul. You're going there to renew your faith. You're going there to get yourself cleaned up and throw away the volume of sins that you've accumulated. And the only one that does that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So make sure you're connected with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as you're going through this process. Don't take anything for granted. Speak to Him, make dua to Him, ask Him for help. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the beginning of Surah Al-Ankabut, do you think those who say they believe will be left alone? No, they'll be tested. So that Allah will see which one of you is true and which one of you is false. So Hajj is one of those processes that you go through. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will test your faith and see how much patience you're going to exercise, not only while you're there. People say, oh yeah, I'm going to have to go through patience. Well, no. It starts here. It starts from the moment you see, I intend to go for Hajj, because shaitan does not want you to go for Hajj. So all of the things will prop up in your head. It's too much. Maybe it's too much hassle. Maybe it's get better. Maybe I'll go next time. Don't do that. Just stay sincere to yourself and plead to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is an invitation from Him. It is He who has honored you. And what an opportunity it is for you to go and renew your faith and ask for your needs in this dunya and the akhirah. And don't forget that connection as we walk you through the mundane part of the administrative aspects and the logistical aspect. So, brothers and sisters, inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide you and guide you to deeds that pleases Him and keep you away from deeds that displeases Him, and help you and us together to make this journey possible, that you can go there and perform your Hajj as Hajj should be performed. And reward for performing Hajj as it should be performed is one of two things. Either you, as the Prophet ﷺ said, Hajj that is acceptable, the reward is no less than Jannah. and have your name inscribed as the inhabitants of Jannah, imagine what you need to do to go through that. Imagine the part that you're going through now. If you're frustrated now or later, imagine what you have to go through to attain that your name is inscribed as the inhabitants of Jannah, or you return home as the day your mother gave birth to you, meaning completely sinless, and you can be sure of the past is gone, and now I'm going to starting again, getting closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the opportunity. Can you name any other opportunity like this in your lifetime other than Hajj? None exists. So you have to work towards it. And we understand this, we've been doing this, and we're going to be with you lock, stop, and barrel every single step of the way. Jazakumullah khair. I hope this was useful to you. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us all to get there.
Ameen.
And until next time, Assalamu
Ameen.
alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa
Wa
barakatuh.
alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum.